kick. Only a few places that we're going to be live, but it's for subscribers only. No matter where you're watching, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you're a member of this great community, and hope you're a subscriber. It's going to be great to talk some fantasy football with you guys. Again, subscriber only show, so make sure you guys are hitting the follow button and make sure you're subscribing. But if you are a subscriber, we are here to help you guys out. So throw your questions in the comment section. Let's get at it, everybody. Here to help you guys out for your fantasy football questions. Again, TikTok, YouTube, this is where we're going to be for probably the next half hour or so. So if you have questions, get them in. We will take callers on TikTok if you do want to do that. So plenty of options for you to get your fantasy questions answered. It is going to be a subscriber-only show. Ricky, what's up? Olave or Jerome Ford? I hate to say it, I think Jerome Ford's actually going to be a better own. I don't like saying it from a brand name perspective, but if I think about it in terms of who actually is going to get more points, I lean towards Jerome Ford because of the matchup. Thanks for the question, and thanks for watching. Jay, Ford or Thomas Jr. in the flex. I'll go Ford on that one as well. Just lean towards Ford slightly. Appreciate the question. Hope you're doing well. If you guys have a fantasy football question, throw it in the comment section. Here to help you guys out. So make sure you're throwing them in there. D. Turner, what's good? Believe JMO could finish in the top 15 for the season or for the week? For the season, maybe, but I feel like that's being a little bit optimistic based on his week 1 performance. I think he could have a really good year, but I think opposing defenses will figure him out pretty soon. As in figure him out as in give more attention to him. J Dubs, I'd go Jaden Daniels. J Dubs, I'd go Jaden Daniels. Thanks for the question. If you have a fantasy football question of your own, make sure you throw it in the comments section. Here to help everybody out, but throw your fantasy football questions in the comment section. Subscriber only show, so make sure you're subscribing and make sure you're throwing your comment in that comment section. So, however we can help you, whether it's with a trade, whether it's a start or a sit, whether it's obviously figuring out what you should do on the waiver wire, we're here for it. Are you optimistic about MHJ bouncing back? Less so than I was a couple of days ago. I'm still optimistic, but Kyler Murray has made some kind of odd comments about the expectation around him giving the number one wide receiver the ball or targeting him often. Wasn't happy about Kyler Murray's comments. I'm still pretty optimistic on MHJ, so I'm not going to be too concerned overall. I feel good about him. Appreciate you guys being with us with Hollywood Brown out. Thoughts on Worthy rest of season? I couldn't be higher on Xavier Worthy. He showed you his speed game 1. He showed you that he could be used in the run and in the pass game. Obviously, he's going to be the third pass catcher behind Kelsey and Rashee Rice. But he slots in really well. I'm very high on Xavier Worthy. I was high on him preseason, even higher now. Really like what he's capable of and what Andy Reid's showing him as a weapon, how he's going to use him. So very high about it. If you've got a fantasy question, throw it in the comment section. Over on YouTube, Bobby Hill asks, Charbonnet or Singletary? I'll go Singletary just barely. Good question, but I'll go Singletary. D. Turner, 96. Achan, prove he's a must-start every week now? No, especially with the quarterback situation. It's going to be very week-to-week for me. He'll probably get the start, but no, I would not lock in anybody as a week-to-week start. I like your 3 running backs, though. If you've got a fantasy question, throw it in the comments section. By the way, a reminder to everyone out there who may be doing some sports betting, there are some great promos on various sports books. Go to my TikTok account. There's a link in the bio. Click the link. Take advantage of some of the promos. DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, Underdog. Bet their money. Bet the sports books money. If you haven't signed up for one of the sports books, they have a lot of promos. They do promos almost every NFL week. Take advantage of those guys. Don't miss out on them. Spencer, thanks for resubscribing. Ethan, roll with Caleb Williams this week or pick up Goff? I'd go with Goff. Click Demarcus Robinson or Tyler Johnson. Click, I'd go Demarcus Robinson. Thanks for the question. Spencer Niles, it's great to have you as a resubscriber. Hope you get some good questions for us. Throw those questions in the comment section. Spencer, what do I do with Tyreek Hill? You could certainly hold on to him. He'll have some value most of the season, but what would I ideally like to do? I'd like to trade him. I'd like to trade Tyreek Hill. I just think it's going to be hard to do so right now because his value has dropped and you may not get as much back as you want. Maybe you wait a week. The Miami Dolphins in week 3 play the Seattle Seahawks. That's not a great matchup. It's in Seattle as well. So I'd trade Tyreek Hill. I think he lost a lot of value. Bobby Hill, one more, Diggs or Allen. Keenan Allen is a game-time decision with his heel. So because of the injury, I'd lean towards Diggs. I also think Diggs is going to be a good red zone option. The way I'm expecting the Houston Texans offense to kind of play is expect Nico Collins and Tank Dell to be the heavy targets between the 20s. I think Diggs is actually going to be a popular red zone target, so I expect touchdowns from him. Spencer Niles, think Tua will come back. Okay, I have 2 thoughts on Tua. 1, I think Tua should retire. I do not think he should come back. He suffered too many concussions for me to feel. And by the way, not just concussions, ugly concussions, where he's almost seizure, he's knocked out. I mean, ugly concussions. But 2, I think Tua's going to come back. I don't want him to. I think he should retire. I think he's going to come back because Tua Tagovailoa is a brand. He, as they talked about on sports television today, his family is invested in his professional success in ways that you don't see with every family. So I don't think he can necessarily leave football behind so easily. He has a lot of family members on the payroll. He has a lot of people who are relying on him. He's made plenty of money. He's going to clear $45 million from his NFL career. Should be fine, generational wealth. But that said, I feel like he's going to come back because I don't think the people in his corner will give him good advice. The analogy is an easy one. It's a family member of a boxer who should be telling them to retire, and instead their salary, their bankroll is too reliant on that boxer staying in the ring. So that's why I suspect it's going to happen with Tua Tagovailoa. D. Turner, Miami should go after Flacco or Tannehill. Well, the Indianapolis Colts won't give up Joe Flacco. Given the injury history of Anthony Richardson, Joe Flacco's not on the market, so it's Tannehill. Bob Jeff Supreme, do you think Jordan Mason will be this year's Kyron Williams? The longer Christian McCaffrey is out, the more I say yes. I think Jordan Mason already becomes a top 15, if not a top 12 running back, and that's being very conservative. He could be even higher than that. Caden, thanks for subscribing. Hope to see your question in the comment section soon. 666 Beast Mode, pick 3 from this list. Diggs, Evans, Godwin, Moore, Charbonnet. I would go Evans, I'd go Godwin, and I kind of want to say DJ Moore, but I don't feel great about that. It's probably Diggs, Evans, and Godwin. Diggs, Evans, and Godwin's the safe play, 666 Beast Mode. Spencer Niles, Mason or Jacobs? Mason. Mason by a wide margin, I would believe. Appreciate the question. D. Turner, not a fantasy question. Guys, on the subscriber-only shows, you can ask anything. You can ask anything under the sun. Subscriber-only shows, I'll answer all questions. D. Turner, thoughts on Mayo giving May 30% of the first team reps? I think it's really smart. I think it's really smart by Mayo. I think Gerard Mayo understands this year is about bridging the gap, developing the team, building the roster for the next 2-3 years that he's the head coach. I think if Gerard Mayo screws up Drake May or doesn't develop him enough, it will have long-term negative implications. Love what they're doing. By the way, the biggest winner of Week 1 was Gerard Mayo, because the moment the Patriots won Week 1, there's no QB controversy. They've got to win. That buys them at least 3-4 weeks of not having to answer that question because they've already got to win, and the Boston media will stay off their heels a little bit. By the time we get to Week 4 or 5, it'll come back around because I don't expect too many wins for the Patriots. But the more wins they get, the more the fan base, and more importantly, the Boston media keeps cool about when does May replace Brissett. And for the Patriots, the longer they can sit him, the more time he can get to watch, observe, prepare, the better. I'm a big advocate for letting a rookie quarterback sit unless you're in a dire situation. Just look at Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams came in with a good offensive line, really good pass catchers, and he still looks bad in Week 1, and he's an extremely talented quarterback. So I think it takes time. Keep in mind, C.J. Stroud, he wasn't perfect his first play. It took a couple weeks even there. So I think it's worth them sitting him. D. Turner, that Patriots defense is much better than people think. I'm a little surprised they played as well as they did. Not because they traded Judon, but losing Barmore because of the blood clots was just a sad injury. I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay for life purposes. Fuck football. But that defense is so talented in the secondary that I think it actually covers a lot of the weaknesses up front. It's not a great defensive line. Keon White is a stud, so he actually may be a future Pro Bowler, but it's the secondary. Jabril Peppers, obviously Christian Gonzalez, Duggar, they play really well back there. Bob Jeff Supreme, start 2. Rice, Smith, Lazard, Dell, McConkey. I'm leaning towards Smith and Rice. Bobby Hill, why trade Tyreek Hill? I guess it makes sense if you keep using... Right, so his numbers with Skylar Thompson are really, really poor. Click, Ravens defense or Seahawks defense? I'm leaning towards the Seahawks a little bit. I'm leaning towards the Seahawks. But maybe I'm leaning towards the Seahawks. Maybe I shouldn't, but that's where I lean. Appreciate the question. If you've got a fantasy football question, throw it in the comments section. Caden, should I go Deontay Johnson, Chase Brown, or Lockett? I'll lean Deontay Johnson for now. I feel like it's Chase Brown, but he didn't show me anything week 1. Liz, Pollard or Mason? It's Mason. It's Jordan Mason. Jay, Russell Wilson or Fields getting the start this week? It's Justin Fields. Justin Fields is starting. I don't like either one of them long term, but for the Steelers, I definitely think Justin Fields should be the play. Oh, Spencer Niles. It's 001-223-4467. And by the way, if you remembered that, good job. Storytime 97, pick 2, non-PPR. Devontae, Worthy, McLaurin, Swift. I would go with Worthy and McLaurin. Storytime, Worthy and McLaurin are the 2 for me. Bob Jeff Supreme, start 1. Mason, Lazard, Dell, McConkey. It's Jordan Mason. Bob Jeff Supreme, it's Jordan Mason. Lucas, I'd start Mason and Flowers. Thanks for the question, bud. Brandon, unpopular opinion, Vikings surprise everyone and take the upset over the Niners. Brandon, it would be a massive upset. Here's why I don't think it's going to happen, because Sam Darnold played really, really well. And if you remember, wasn't he with the 49ers? If I'm not mistaken, he was a backup with the 49ers. Let me make sure of that, because I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Sam Darnold... 49ers. Right? Yeah. Sam Darnold was with the 49ers last year. And the reason I actually don't think that the Vikings upset the Niners, 2 things. 1, the 49ers know Sam Darnold. And 2, they're going to show him respect. They're actually going to treat him like a legit quarterback. They're not going to overlook him. But they're also a talented defense that may know him from practice, know his strengths, know his weaknesses. The Giants defense needed to put pressure on Darnold, and once they couldn't, he was able to complete a lot of passes. I think the 49ers are going to have an easier time applying pressure to Darnold. So I don't think the upset's going to happen, but if you want to bet against the 49ers, you'll certainly be getting good odds. Luke, Kyler or Lamar or Kyler? I'll go Lamar. Homie knows the books. Okay. Story time. I have the Vikings at +5. I don't think they'll win, but I think it'll be close. If you told me... I could see the cover. I'm not going to take it. Bobby Hill, Hurts or Rodgers? You go Jalen Hurts. Bobby Hill, Jalen Hurts. Bob Jeff Supreme. Who would you rather have season long, Dell or Metcalf? Metcalf, he's the wide receiver 1 on his team. Dell's wide receiver 3. Appreciate the question. Hope you're enjoying the show. Throw your questions in the comment section. We're here to help you guys out, all you fantasy owners out there. Storytime, Pacheco. Storytime 97, I'd go Pacheco. Jake, I'd go Jordan Mason. Thanks for the question. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. That way you can get your questions and comments in. Make sure you're a subscriber. Appreciate all those that are joining us. Kittle or likely Christian, I'd go Kittle. Christian, I'd go Kittle. D. Turner, 96, got offered Debo for Ingram and Jammo. I wouldn't do it. I'd rather have Ingram and Jammo. Ingram and Jammo, I'd rather own them. Where you go with Miami, does Tua retire? He should. I don't think he will because I think he's stubborn and I think he doesn't have the right people in his corner advising him. But if I were Tua, I'd take the money, I'd retire, and I'd go sign Alabama merchandise and apparel for a lifetime and live a very, very nice life as a public speaker and as a public figure and all those things. He could, if Tua retired today, I bet he could find a job on ESPN talking college football for the next 12 years. He could get involved in some charities, do some businesses, get on some boards. He could have a really, really nice life, and that's what he should do. He should retire. He's got a ton of cash. He got it for his signing bonus. He got that money. He made probably around $40 to $50 million in his NFL career. Call that a blessing from the gods and go do something else while you still have your head intact. Hopefully he does, by the way, because not even that's a sure thing. Story time. Who do you have in Cardinals, Rams? I really like the Cardinals. I'm going to take the Rams. I like what the Cardinals are, but I don't know if they can close yet. Just like last week, I think they're a competitive team. I don't know if they're a closer yet. They've got some question marks. And I think the Cardinals, I think the Rams are a better team even without Puka. So I'll lean on the Rams just barely. Brandon, have you followed the Brady deal on trying to buy? Yeah, of course. The other owners aren't trying to block it in that way. They have other issues. Christian Silva, Steelers or Ravens? I'd go Steelers defense. Steelers defense. Love them going up against Bo Nix. I think they could have a very good day. Jake, what do I do with Drake London? Do you still feel confident about him? Season long, yes. Again, this may be a tricky week. I think he bounces back. But the best days for him are still very much ahead. Jets defense, a good play this week, yes. You saw what Will Levis did against the Chicago Bears. Jets are a better defense. The big question for me, can the Jets run defense man the hell up and play better this week? I think they will. Josh, I'd go Godwin and Rice. Josh over on YouTube. Bob, Jeff, Supreme, do I drop Javonte or Chase Brown for Jalen Warren? The answer is yeah, you probably do. I don't want to drop Chase Brown. That's who you probably should drop. I've been holding on to him, but that's who you probably should drop. Jay, it's Reed over Dobbs. Jay, Reed over Dobbs, though I don't love either one. Story time, is Cardinals +7 a good bet? Very good bet. They're playing at home. They did play well last game. The Rams are coming off a loss. Rams have to travel back-to-back weeks. I think the +7, but story time, as ugly as it is, if you could push it to +7.5 and get that hook on your side, I'd take it. I'd love it even more. Luke, I'm torn between Evans and Pacheco for the flex. For me, whenever there's a question between a wide receiver and a running back, I usually lean running back. You're just guaranteed points with the carries. I'll lean Pacheco. Storytime 97. Do I drop Browns defense after a poor week 1 performance? No, I think they bounce back. I don't think the Browns defense was as bad as it looked. I actually think their special teams let them down a lot. You could call that the same thing, but really, I thought the offense was awful. The Browns offense was so bad, they gave the Cowboys good field position, which put the Browns defense in a bad situation. I think the Browns defense plays better. Isaiah likely going to top 5 tight end or just lucky week 1. Closer to the lucky week 1 than the top 5 tight end. Jack got offered Terry for Mason. What do you think? I think right now I wouldn't give up Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason has top 8 running back potential. I mean that. He came out of nowhere, but he could be the star of this season because the 49ers offensive line is one of the best in the NFL. They have weapons galore across the board, which means defenses can't overcommit to the run. I would not trade Jordan Mason unless I was getting back another top-tier running back or I was getting damn near a wide receiver 1. I think Jordan Mason's value shot up to NVIDIA kind of levels over the last 48 hours. Bob Jeff Supreme, if Christian McCaffrey goes on IR, do I trade away Pacheco for a wide receiver upgrade? I have Hall and Mason. I wouldn't trade away Pacheco. No, I would not trade away Pacheco. I would try to trade Higgins if you could. Zane, thanks for resubscribing. Appreciate Zane for subscribing. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Hope you guys are subscribers yourself out there. Make sure all of you guys are subscribing. Do I drop Jordan Love or do I stick with Baker or Geno until he's healthy? I'd stick with Baker until he's healthy. I wouldn't give up on him. The fact that he has been upgraded to questionable for this week tells me the Packers think he could be back sooner rather than later. So I'll be optimistic, and I certainly won't drop him, because once you drop him, it'll be hard to get him back. Christian, could Brian Thomas Jr. be a good waiver wire pickup to stash? Yes, a fantastic player to stash. Don't love him this week. Future weeks, he could eventually become the wide receiver 1. He's showing that potential, and I think Christian Kirk is having a regression season. Zane, what's good? Should I start Pickens or Jammo? Tricky one for me, but it's going to be Jammo, and it's because Pickens goes up against Patrick Surtain II. You could argue he's the best cornerback in the NFL. I'm going to say go with Jammo just because the matchup against the Bucs is a little bit better. Normally, I don't take a wide receiver 2 over a wide receiver 1, but when that wide receiver 1 is going up against a top corner, I tend to lean in that direction. Appreciate the question. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Geno has a good matchup this week. Do you still think Baker over him? Does Geno have a good matchup this week? Do you know what you're talking about? I think Geno's got a tough matchup this week against the New England Patriots. If you didn't notice, the Patriots' pass defense was pretty darn good last week. I actually think the Lions are more vulnerable in the passing game than the Patriots are. Sounds crazy. I don't think it's as crazy, though, as you may think. I'll let you decide, though, story time. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the content and enjoying the show. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time we're live. We are live almost every single day. As you can tell, we do these subscriber shows almost every night. How much time do you spend a week studying football? Man, how much time a week do I spend studying football? Wow. An embarrassing amount. A full-time job's amount. An embarrassing amount. The amount of... I probably spend 12 hours a day studying sports stats across baseball, football, basketball. So, like, in football season, a majority... I spend a lot of time. But this is a job. So, Butt Fumble Sports, I own the company, the name, the trademark, the logo is trademarked. This is a company. We've got sponsors. By the way, speaking of which, a bunch of the sports books are backing us this fall, so make sure you're taking advantage of it. They backed us so that I literally said to the guy who's our contact for them, I just want to make sure we help out our followers and our viewers, and that's what we did. What do I like to do for fun outside of sports? I mean, honestly, I'm a giant nerd. I'm a big audiobook guy, love history, love studying politics, love fun facts, big Jeopardy guy, big trivia guy, just love learning things, love knowledge, love learning, love art, love the theater. I mean, I'm a giant content guy. My background's in sports media. I was a producer at Fox Sports, CBS Sports, and for Jim Rome. So my background's in producing sports content. I've produced fantasy shows. I produced sports betting shows. It's part of the reason I got so comfortable with all of this content and all the research that goes into it. Bob Jeff Supreme, hope you have a great night. Appreciate all those subscribers out there. Appreciate Sal for subscribing. Appreciate everyone being with us every single day. It's just wonderful to have you guys with us and watching the show. A's money line was a good call, Drizzy. But the Orioles let me down. I had Orioles on the money line. They were being no hit until the 2 outs, top of the ninth. Gunnar Henderson hits a triple, and then they strand him on third, lose 1-0. Really disappointing game. Story time. Do I drop Jackson Smith and Jigba for Rashid Shaheed or Alec Pierce? I don't think it's a bad idea. Just know Jackson Smith and Jigba has good weeks ahead, but I actually think Shaheed's got more value right now. Jake, That's a tricky one for me. I think Ingram bounces back, but I'm really high on Colby Parker. You can talk me into either one of them. I like both. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time that we're live. You want to get some Butt Fumble Sports merch? You want to get some merchandise? Go to our website, Butt Fumble Sports. There's a link in our bio. Butt Fumble Sports. Get yourself a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, a phone case. Butt Fumble Sports stuff's available. Want to make sure you guys take advantage of it. Drizzy, should I start Amari Cooper or Dobbins? I lean towards Dobbins. Jake, leaning towards Ingram because I have Kupp and Kyren. Oh, then I would definitely lean. Yeah, I don't want to be overloaded on the Rams. Given you already have 2 players, I don't want it to be 3. Okay, everybody. Fast half hour. About a half hour of content. That's what I thought I was going to do. I said that I was shooting for about a half hour, so if we have any more questions, get them in now. Otherwise, I'm going to be wrapping up pretty soon. Given that it's, 10:30 at night. We've got a big college football Saturday ahead. Okay. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time we're live. We will be live tomorrow. So hit that follow button. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you never miss the show. A lot of opportunities to be with us, so don't miss out. Sal, I'd rather have the Kamara, Mason, Kyren side. Kamara, Mason, and Kyren's the better side to have in that trade. Story time, I'd go DJ Moore. Story time, I'd go DJ Moore. Oh, 2 at each position. Jordan Addison is out. Jordan Addison is not playing, and I would sit Kamara. I'd sit Kamara, and Jordan Addison is out. Do you think Achan retains his value? I think it depends on the weekly matchup. Brandon Beers, do I play fantasy? I am currently in, I think this year I'm in 25 leagues, 24 leagues. We didn't do as many fantasy leagues as we did last year because Rival Fantasy is going through some shit. So because of that, I didn't do as many leagues with them this year. Last year I was in 47 leagues total. So yeah, we do a lot of fantasy. Dynasty, PPR. I'm actually not in any Dynasty leagues. Funny enough. No, I don't lead you sheep. I don't think of you guys as sheep either. No, I do a lot of fantasy, and I've been doing it for a long time. Again, my background's in sports content and sports media. So, is Rival Fantasy still sponsoring you? They technically are. They're technically still sponsoring us. Technically. Story time. Do I drop D-Hop to pick up McLaurin? Yes. Okay, boys and girls. I am out of here. I will catch you guys tomorrow. If you love the show, hit the follow button. If you love the channel, hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, I'll see you later as a non-follower and a non-subscriber. Hope you guys have a great evening. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening. Goodbye, everybody.